Okay, cool. So I think what I'll do is I'll give a couple minutes. Hi, Gabby. Thanks for using your video. Oh, thank
Hello.
God. It's so weird when no one has their video on.
Yeah, no, I was gonna turn it on.
You feel like an astronaut on another planet. Hi, Kola. Okay, cool. So yeah, it looks like a lot of us are in our libraries right now, which is totally fine. There's Michelle. Hi, Michelle. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to wait till 4:05 because our guests who are coming from counseling and student support services, I just want to I'll give them until like 4:05 to come in. Otherwise, I'll start at 4:05 because I have a couple of slides that I can kind of go through. Does that sound okay?
Sounds good.
Cool. Hey, Jorge.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
It's going good. Thank you.
Nice to see and meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, here I am. I'm like, oh yeah, Gabby, thanks for sharing your video. You are Gabby. Okay, so yeah, so we
That's
have Gabby and
me.
Jorge here. It just like dawned on me like, oh, that's Gabby. Okay, cool. So do you guys mind if we kind of do introductions and then maybe if any of the students are like brave and want to unmute and say hi, we could do that. And I want to make sure that we see who the instructors in the program are too, just to kind of like put faces to names. Does that sound all right? So I'll start with myself and then I'll go through our instructors and any students, and then I'll let Gabby and Jorge introduce themselves and then you can take over with your presentation from there. Does that sound okay? Okay, so my name is Colin Williams. Hi, everyone. I coordinate the library technician program here at LBCC. And I'm really glad that you're able to make it today, whether you're here in the Zoom live with us or in the recording later on. And yeah, I'm a librarian. I got my master's in library science in 2011, and I've been here at LBCC since 2014, and I just absolutely love it. So I'll introduce a couple of the instructors in our library technician program, and I'm gonna ask Ruben, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, thanks, Colin. My name is Ruben Amador. I'm currently teaching the library 271 work experience class. I've also taught in the past library 3 and lined up to teach the library 200, 600 in the summer. I got my master's degree back in 2009. And I've been here at the college for the last 26 plus years. I started my 27th year already. So it's been a blast. I love it. I love teaching in the program. It's been a great experience for the last 3 years now, and I look forward to 10 more years of this. I'm really excited to be part of it.
So yeah, Ruben mentioned he teaches the work experience class. So if you haven't looked at that yet, definitely look at it. It's a really cool way to get your feet wet when it comes to working at a work site. And he has just done an amazing job building out lots of different sites for you, whether it's a museum, whether it's a theater, whether it's public library, or even some special library settings. So Ruben is definitely someone you want to keep in touch with. Someone else you want to keep in touch with, I'll ask Kolop to introduce yourself. Can you speak right now? Okay.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Kolop Samel, and I've been at LBCC as a staff and then adjunct since 2008. Wait, was it 2008? Yes, it was 2008. Just one. And I also taught a couple of library classes, library 1, 3, 200, and taught 202, which is now 210, I think. But yeah, I'm happy to be here, and hopefully I can answer some questions if any students have some. That's it.
Thanks, Co-op. So Co-op also was helping us out with a statewide grant that we earned in order to work with Pasadena and Santa Ana in order to write an OER textbook, a free and open textbook for our Library 200 class. And someone else who was involved with that was Ariane Lee. She's an instructor in the technician program. Ariane, can you speak and introduce yourself, or do you? Okay, go ahead. Say hi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ariane Lee. I am an adjunct instructor in the library technician program. I teach Library 200, Foundations of Library Services. In the past, I also taught Library 210, that's public access services. And like Colin just mentioned, we just wrapped up an OER for the Library 200 Foundations of Library Services. And we are about to start on a new OER project. So it's a great experience. It's hard work, but I am so glad to join you today. And I'm also a lead library technician here at the library. I work at PCC Library. So you're welcome to stop by the library and say hi to me. And if you want a tour of the library, I would love to take you around and show you our library. So welcome.
Great, thanks, Ariane. We also have some library assistants and student assistants from the library here. And I don't know if anyone else, I'll open it up to the students. Did you want to introduce yourself or say hello? Feel free to do so. I'll just give a couple seconds for that awkward silence and courage to manifest. But if you want to say hi, just go ahead.
I'm asking my circulation students to join, so I'm gonna ask them to speak.
Okay. Who's that? Are they on yet?
Stephanie, are you on? Okay. Can you introduce yourself, Stephanie?
Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I'm currently a student worker here at the PCC Library, and yeah, I'm hoping to come out with a major for library technician.
Okay, great. Hi, Stephanie. Anyone else? And then Kaylee, did I see you unmute?
Hi, this is Kaylee. So I've been at the library for about 3 years now. I was a student assistant, and then now as a library assistant, and it's really wonderful. Love it here, and I have a couple of students here as well, who I'm gonna have them introduce themselves. Just a second.
Hello, my name is Adai, and I started this fall as a student worker. I'm at both campuses, PCC and LAC. Nice to meet you all.
Hi, Adai.
Hello, hi again. I'm Jessa Harvey. I'm the library assistant at PCC Library. So I'm glad to be here in this meeting. Nice to meet you all.
Good.
Is Michelle here?
Yeah, she's just trying to get her Zoom to work. It's kind of malfunctioning a little bit.
No problem. That's great. Thank you, Ariane. Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate it. I think it really helps. These meetings can just be, like a vacuum. So I think it's nice that we're able to hear each other, say hello to each other. And I do want us to just give a virtual round of applause to Gabby and Jorge. And at this point, I'll turn it over to Gabby to go ahead and introduce yourself, and Jorge. And if you have a presentation, I can go ahead and stop sharing so you can take over. Sound good? Okay.
All right. Hi, everyone. So my name is Gabriela Cruz, or Gabby. I usually go by Gabby, so that's easier. I work at the Career Center. I'm a workforce development specialist. And basically what I do is I send all of you any job opportunities that we have. I help our students with resume building, cover letters. I also work closely with Ruben because I took over the the work experience program. So if any of you are part of that class, you'll be hearing from Ruben and I to get all that paperwork in and whatnot. So that's just kind of the scope of my work. And throughout the presentation, I'll be showing you guys how to navigate Career Coach, which is our job posting platform. So that's where students can go in to find any open job opportunities, any internships. And that's where you submit your resume for review for one of us to review it for you. I'll go ahead and pass it over to Jorge.
Thank you, Gabby, for the warm introduction. And just also thank you all again for having us. We really greatly appreciate your time. And it's good to hear everyone's story. The library tech field is so amazing, and you have a great instructor. Shout out to you, Professor Williams, for leading the way for everyone here today. And again, my name's Jorge. I'm one of the counselors here at the Career Center. So I help out students with professional development, career support, and pretty much just, our students, come in with needing a lot of help and support. So it's just really guiding them, listening to them, and just making sure that, we are the support system they probably never had before. So for me, being a career counselor is just being able to help, being able to support. And, I'm really looking forward to sharing some tools, some helpful tips. Hopefully, we can share some of our knowledge. And when Gabby and I talked, before we were going to present, we want to make it as interactive as possible. So, you're part of this conversation. Feel free to unmute yourself. I know Gabby has probably other things she wants to talk about, so I'll pass it back over to her. But again, thank you all for having us.
All right, so like we mentioned, we want it to be a little more interactive. So we don't necessarily have a PowerPoint presentation. My goal for today is really to introduce all of you to Career Coach, which again is a tool that not many students are aware of or use. Super useful. We have a ton of job opportunities on there, but again, if you're not sure what it is or don't know how to use it, then that's what I'm here for. So I'm gonna, give me 1 second, let me pull up the page really quick and then I'll share my screen. Okay, can you guys see the LBCC webpage? Alrighty, so this is just our lbcc.edu webpage, and from here, students can go over to College Services, Career Center. And you have a bunch of tabs here that you can click on, different student resources. So explore career major options in various ways. My majors, what I typically work out of is Career Coach. So you go on Career Coach. You would be Career Coach for students because you're not an employer. So you would click there. I'm already signed in, so before I'll log out so you guys can see. It'll say log in here, log in. If you don't have an account, you would sign up. Again, just regular sign up, not employer sign up. Sign in, and here you see a lot of different things. So you can take a career assessment, which is a quick start assessment. It could be 6 questions, or very detailed, which is 60. This is just to help you find out what your interests are and how they relate to work, and what is it that you like. You don't want to get into a major that halfway down the road you're like, oh, what did I do? I don't think I like this very much. So really taking these assessments it's helpful to help you narrow down what your options. Careers. So here it's just a broad, I guess, webpage with different information on different careers or majors. So agriculture, food and natural resources, architecture. This is just the broad umbrella. For example, if we go on to business management and administration, you have different careers here under business. So if you're a student that maybe wants to go into business, but you know that business is very broad, then you would, select here what's more specific to what you want to do. And again, there's a lot of different things here. There's nothing for library, unfortunately, but this is just, general information. Now, different programs. These are the programs that we have here at LBCC. So you can go into here and read a little bit more about it and what they offer. Now, what I really want to focus on is our resume builder. So here, if you already have a resume, you can upload one. If you don't have one, you can create one. So this is just what is it going to be called? I just put Gabby 2020 resume. You put your contact information, your email, your phone number. One of the things that's misleading about this is it asks you for your entire address. What we like to recommend is don't put your full address, like house number or any of that. You can just put city, state, and zip code. That's more than enough. One of the things that I learned in grad school actually is sometimes people can judge based on where you live, certain, house number, things like that. So you want to avoid that. And again, they're reading you on paper. So you want to give them information, but not things that may disqualify you, unfortunately. Work experience, this is where you put any work experience that you have. So anything that you've been paid for, any volunteer work, community service, you put everything on here. The nice thing about the resume builder is it literally builds your resume and it formats it nicely. I know sometimes that, when you do it on Word and convert it to PDF, it'll give you like an extra page or something random like that. So this really helps with that. Educational history. So this is where you put your education background. So if you're currently an LBCC student, you would include it here. You can put your high school. One of the things that we want to keep in mind is resumes usually backdate up to 10 years. So if you graduated high school 15 years ago, 16 years ago, then you probably don't need to put that because your, college diploma or your degree it weighs a lot more than the high school diploma. Any skills that you have, you put them on here. Now, important keyword here, relevant. So anything that's relevant to library tech or to any job that you're applying to. For example, I met with a student that is a computer science major and is looking to apply for jobs. And one of the things that you want to keep in mind is when you are building a resume, you want to extract any keywords that job description has. And I know a little later, Jorge will show you an example of what that looks like because we did pull some job descriptions and like a sample resume for you guys to see. But you want to have those transferable skills on there. So if a library tech position, let's say it's asking that you know how to alphabetize, and I'm just being very, general, just an example. You want to include on your skills, knowledge in alphabetizing books and sorting them by X, Y, and Z. So really important to list all that information here. Now, professional links. LinkedIn is really big. So if you have a LinkedIn, definitely include it on there. If you don't have a LinkedIn, create one. I know it took me a really long time to create a LinkedIn, but it's very important. You grow your network. You get to meet new people and, find any open job opportunities. And think of it as kind of like an algorithm. So if you're familiar with Instagram, Facebook, or anything like that, they have different algorithms, right? So based on what you like and what you see, it's what you'll be getting on your feed. So similar to that, LinkedIn works in that way, where if maybe you like certain things, they'll say like recommended for you because you've seen this page or because you've liked this page, that's what they'll give you. I work at another college as a counselor, similar to what Jorge does here. And I get a lot of counseling job opportunities, whether that be at a community college or at a Cal State, at a UC. So again, creating that LinkedIn and making sure that you include your link on there. I don't know if you guys are familiar with badging or badges, but right now, a lot of, if you take like some sort of certificate program or anything like that online, sometimes they'll give you badges and you can include those on your LinkedIn. So an employer might be able to click on your LinkedIn and see that you have those badges, which might put you up the list of applicants. Now, once you've created your resume and you're ready, to start applying for jobs, you request a resume review. So you click on here, you confirm, and then we on the back end, we get a notification. Like for example, Ariane submitted a resume for review. One of us will go in, review it, and if we feel like you need to change a few things, then we send you an email through Career Coach saying, hey, thank you for submitting your resume. You should update these things, remove this or add this, maybe do some spell checking. Anything that you might have missed, we'll be able to catch that. One of the things that I always tell students is if you have someone else, like another student or maybe one of your instructors, if they can review it for you before you submit it, then that's great because a second pair of eyes is always useful. Again, we're here to help you with that as well. But if you have anyone that can take a look at it beforehand, then by all means, go ahead and do that. Now, let's say you are ready to go, you submitted your resume, and now you're ready to start applying for jobs. Once you've requested the resume, we've approved it, you're ready to go, you go over to work opportunities. And here we have 99 postings. So they might not be relevant to you. They might be, it just depends whatever you're looking for. You see here, let's say that you're like, you know what, I really like library, but I also want to do some data entry. I love doing that. So if you see that, you can submit your resume here. And then see, like here, I haven't selected to review my resume, but if you were ready to go, it would give you the option here to submit your resume. Now what this does is it sends the employer an alert or message saying, hey, someone submitted their resume for, to apply for this job. You're automatically applying. One of the things I tell my students is let me know. If you've applied for a job on Career Coach, please let me know, because we already have that relationship with the employer. And so we can let them know like, hey, this student applied, please, get in contact with them and give them at least an interview. So we kind of have that little wiggle room there for you guys. So definitely take advantage. Before I continue, does anyone have any questions? Maybe if I'm going too fast or anything, feel free to unmute yourself.
Gabby, is this a service for students at LBCC only?
Yes, so you have to be a student at LBCC.
So it's not for staff or anything, right? Or just for students, right?
Yes, for students.
How many times would a student be able to go through the resume check? Does that become like a back and forth, or is that more of a one-time check?
It really just depends. I know sometimes a student will submit once. So for example, I had a student a few weeks ago, they submitted once, gave us a call like, hey, I submitted my resume for review. I went in there, I checked her resume, and just emailed her like, hey, check your emails, because one of the things is you'll be getting the email from Career Coach. So you won't be getting it from me personally, you'll be getting it from Career Coach. A lot of times students might be like, I don't remember what this is, delete. So what I like to do is I like to extract that student's email and just send them an email on the side and say, hey, I requested a few changes. If something doesn't make sense, let me know. We can meet up and do like a student one-on-one to really help you understand what changes need to be made. And we can do this as many times, but if we requested for you to make some changes, and if you just ignore us, or if you just don't respond to our emails and resubmit, but then you're still missing a few things, then it will create that back and forth, which we try to, alleviate by reminding you guys to just contact us. Respond back to our emails, and we'll be more than happy to help. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but we do have something called the Job Club on Wednesdays from 3 to 4, where it's basically an open Zoom forum where any student can hop on and ask any questions regarding job searching or resume reviews, anything like that. So I'll share with you, Colin, the Zoom link for you to share with your students if they ever want to hop in and ask for any help with resume or cover letter or job search, really anything like that.
Cool. So like office hours for job search, career building, or resume writing and all of that.
Yep. Exactly.
Awesome.
Any other questions? And like Colin mentioned, definitely do the work experience. If you can, if you have the time to, 100% take advantage of that, because that'll get, that'll get your foot in the door. That's important. Networking, knowing people, knowing who to speak to. So yeah, take advantage of that work experience opportunity.
Yeah, if I may chime in, Gabby, I would like to invite our students to spread the word. And I know coming up, and you can clear the date or the semester that's going to start, Colin, where we're going to start offering the class for one unit as well too. For those of us who don't know, the state of California allows up to 4 hours of work experience for any technical certificate. Right now, the current setup that we have right now, it's for 3 units, which is the equivalent of 180 units. In the past, we have had a couple of students who were interested in earning that extra 1 unit, but we were not able to accommodate it because we did not have the class set up as such for 1 unit. I believe it has been already agreed upon, and maybe you can chime in, call in, let me know when that class will start.
Yeah, so starting it's going to be next fall, we'll offer the work experience as the 3-unit class, and then we'll also offer it with that 1 unit. So if you are a student and you do want to take advantage of the maximum amount of units you can get for work experience, that setup will allow you to do that.
Excellent. Thank you for clarifying that, Colin.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if no one else has any questions, like I mentioned, I really just wanted to highlight career coach because of how important it is. I don't think a lot of our students take advantage of it, take advantage of the opportunities. So I want to make sure to, bring awareness to it. And again, I'll put my email in the chat before we leave so that you guys can have it. If you ever have any questions, if you want to schedule a one-on-one or just want to speak to me about anything related to resumes, cover letters, then by all means, reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to work with you all.
So is that how students would go about scheduling a one-on-one with the counselors, reaching out to them directly, or is there a schedule portal to go through?
So I'm not a counselor, so this is just more for me.
Okay.
If the students want to work with me on resume building or cover letter, but Jorge will be someone that can answer that question because he's actually a counselor here at LBCC.
Yeah, most definitely. So if you need help and support with resume development or cover letter support, even just like the interview piece, like pretty much any of our career counselors can help and support. And what I'll do is I'll drop in the chat our LBCC career website, counseling website, and then you can go in there and click and actually make an appointment if you need to on there as well. But yeah, we wanted to go ahead, Gabby.
I was just gonna say, I know Jorge, you guys will also be able to help students with like inventory and whatnot, right? Like if they need to take any of the assessments.
Yeah, so if you need help with like understanding your personality, for example, we have what is called the Myers-Briggs, oh my God, it's like blanking right now, MBTI, type indicator, sorry, Myers-Briggs type indicator, which is MBTI. And then we have the strong inventory. So the MBTI is more personality based. So you look at, your preferences. So if you're extroverted or introverted, you also look at if you're a perceiver or a judger, right? So in those personality assessments, we can kind of cater, what are specific careers that you potentially qualify for, and also who you are as an individual, right? So you get to kind of gain some understanding, and they're really cool assessments. I like that students really request them, specifically students who are unsure, or maybe also to clarify something that they already probably know. So for us, it's really about, supporting you and guiding you, and those assessments are free. You pay for them as a student, and you can definitely utilize them as well.
Jorge, there's 2 assessments, right?
Yes, so the
Could you go over
MBTI,
them again?
yeah, so the Myers-Briggs type indicator. So that one, again, is more dealing with personality.
Mhm.
And then we have the strong inventory, which focuses on, I believe, the Holland codes, which is focused on your skills. So if you have specific skills, such as like, if you're realistic, if you're more of a social person or enterpriser, it pretty much breaks down those skills that you have. If you take both in unison, they basically, what they do can give you a more comprehensive look of your personality and your skills. And you can put those things together to help you, make decisions about your career or confirm things, right? Maybe you want to be a supervisor, maybe you don't want to be a supervisor, maybe you want to be more hands-on, or you want to work with people one-on-one. That's kind of what the assessments do.
And
But
so
yes.
you would get access to this by requesting a meeting with someone like you, like a career
Yeah,
counselor?
like a career counselor. Yeah. So either of us would be more than happy to help and support with the counseling piece. So if you click on that link, you can actually go and click on meet with the counselor. And then when you click on that, and if you want, I can share my screen very shortly.
Yeah, go for it.
Click on career counseling, and then you can click on LEC counseling appointment. And then right there, you put your student ID number and your birthday, and then you can go ahead and make an appointment with either me, Mariah Glenn, Dr. Galvez, Dr. Ann, or Blanca, or Mimi Lee. Any of us can help and support you provide that career guidance.
Okay.
Yeah, so again, thank you, Gabby, for kind of explaining our career coach. It's a really good tool, super customizable, very easy to use. And again, what I really like about it is that resume piece. It really does outline that resume very well. I know I've used it with students who are like never used a resume in their life. So I like to, utilize it with students in that piece. But I just want to hear from everyone. What would you all like to do once you graduate? Where are we all with all that? Like, what's everyone's plan once you graduate?
I'll go.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. My name is Jean, by the way, but I recently I think I just graduated last semester with the associates in the Lib Tech program, but at first I was undecided on whether or not I was going to keep going to do the bachelor's and master's, but yeah, I'm decided now. So I'm going to go transfer and get my bachelor's and then hopefully get my master's and become a librarian or something of the sort.
Any others?
Okay, so in the chat, Francesca's letting us know that she's coming back to take hospitality classes.
Great.
Libraries are kind of like hospitality work, right? Definitely that customer service angle.
Great. So want to get a job in the library after you graduate. Nice.
So Stephanie, do you want to work at like a library, like the library here at LBCC, or at a library at any school, or like at a county library? What type of library are you looking into?
I'm kind of undecided because I do like working here at the PCC library, but my heart was set on working in a public library because I feel like we could benefit more in our communities to be able to like serve our communities.
Awesome. One of the things that Jorge and I talked about when we met is how important it is for students to, well, really it goes back to that networking piece, right? So I know, just putting myself out there a little bit, when I was going to school, I did my undergrad in child development, but I had various different jobs. I worked at Starbucks. I worked with international students at one time. I worked as a kindergarten assistant at one time. And I was like, nope, don't want to work with kids. Nope, don't want to work with this age group. So I kind of narrowed down what I liked and what I didn't like. So it's important to know what it is you don't like so you don't end up in that place, right? But it's also just as important to get out of your comfort zone, to be able to realize like, okay, this is what I don't want to do, and this is what attracts me a little more. Now, when I was doing my undergrad, I was really set on working at a Cal State. Like, I want to be an advisor at a Cal State. I want to have an expertise in one major and just know about that major and advise my students. But then I got hired at a community college as a counselor, not at LBCC, but at a different one. And I work also in the Career Center. So I'm helping students that really don't know what they want to do. I'm helping them explore and really have that exploration piece. So really having your mind open and being open to exploring different avenues, because you never know where you'll really end up and how you get there. So definitely trusting the process is also important.
Yeah, thank you, Gabby. And like, we kind of wanted to just have a conversation with you all. So like, how are y'all feeling, now that you're going to be, once you graduate, like the experiences that you're receiving, like, we want to share with you all some tools to think about, once you graduate, to prepare yourself to enter the workforce. So is there some things you're looking at exploring, or, is your work experience connecting with the skills you're learning in class? Like how's all that like kind of tying in together?
Does anyone want to share? I know you're all shy, but that's okay.
Let's see. So Jean, you mentioned that you recently graduated, right? So you're looking at continuing your education. So maybe did some of what you learned in the program or the classes that you took, did any of that like literally prepare you for the education that you're going to continue on with? How does this program maybe prepare someone to continue on to feel confident going for that master's degree?
I think what changed my mind about continuing my education was probably the work experience course, just so I could get an actual sort of real life experience, because I hadn't worked in like a proper library before. I did end up working with an arts organization last semester, so it's kind of slightly different to like traditional library work, but I think it's kind of solidified me to more of like what concentration I'm planning to do for my master's, which is like archives and collections management, so like more of the museum work side of things. And also I did also have an internship coming up this summer, which is more similar work to that. So yeah, I think just sort of like the background with the coursework and the library work experience really like just sort of solidified my choice in continuing this.
Yeah, absolutely. And like that's the things that you build upon, right? As you experience, going to community college and also thinking about your master's, right? Like, Gabby and I obtained our master's degree in counseling. So like thinking about those bigger steps, right? And what that looks like for you, right? And it could be hard, right? Especially if you're close to graduation, or maybe sometimes like you don't have the network, right? I know that was so difficult for me. I kind of agree with Francisca, which is like, learning to be professional, like something like I'm continuing to work on, because I'm constantly code switching, with students. Like what I mean by that is like, being my authentic self, but also like, sharing, how I can support that student and meeting them where they're at. So there's like a constant like professionalism that I'm having to navigate. So I appreciate you, Francesca, talking about that. And you can meet with us, right? You can meet with me or Gabby to walk you through that, and the interview piece. And we really want to just show you all that we're here to connect with you. We're here to connect with you. We're here to guide you. Just like I shared on the website, make an appointment with us. What I learned is your support system is what matters, right? The people that you can count on, really guide you, right? I have many friends that I call and ask for help. I don't know everything, to believe it or not. Like I'm still trying to figure things out. So that network that you have and the asking for help, is very critical. And, a lot of the other stuff, the school stuff, the classes, the things you need to do, you take care of that. All the other things like that you're probably stressing about, that's where Gabby and I can really kind of walk you through, right? The connecting, the networking, the interviewing, the resume, all that kind of stuff. So we just want to guide you all and just show you all that, we're here to support.
I also wanted to chime in. So I'm on the other end. Sometimes I sit on the hiring panels for library tech, library assistants, and I always see that some people do have the passion to want to work in the library, but they aren't able to express either through their resume, their cover letter, or even in the interview, their transferable skills. So maybe by talking with Gabby and Jorge, like, hey, I have experience working at Starbucks, working at, parks and recreational stuff, but I really would like to try to apply for the library assistant library tech program. I mean, library tech position. And maybe Gabby and Jorge can at least guide you and like, hey, here are some transferable words that you could use that you could extrapolate from when you worked from Parks and Rec or Starbucks and such. So on my end, as a person who's on the interview panel, that's where I see a lot of the struggle. It's like, no, you do, but you didn't speak it, and I have to grade you based on the rubric that is presented in front of me. So there's that. So for the students who are interested in the library field, wanting to work in the library field, take advantage of Gabby and Jorge. See what are the certain algorithm words that they're looking for. For me, I know that HR, at least in some of the organizations that I work in, they use some type of machine to pick up certain applicants that says those keywords. And then they narrow down the 300 applicants down to 40, and then they give it to us. So it's cool that you can tap into the resources here.
Yeah, and thank you for bringing that up, because that's something that I realized, right? Like first it's the computer reads your course, your resume and the job application, and then after that someone sees you, right? So it's like that whole piece can be very confusing, right? Specifically with someone, first generation or trying to navigate, right? Because as you hear, right, there's an interview panel, there's a committee of people that are, reviewing your applications. So I'll give you one example. If you look at Own It Online, I'll actually link it to you all on the website here. This is kind of what I do in an appointment. So for example, if you're telling me you're going to a library technician, this website uses the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, which is data that is gathered from the US government. So when you think about job reports or interest rates, all that kind of stuff comes from here. Some of it's aggregated on here as well. So if you look at Own It Online, it gives you the description of the library position, specific job titles, and then also tasks as well too. So on the website that I linked you, you can kind of have a look and look at what exactly do library techs do, right? And guess what? These are reported job descriptions, job skills, right? Job duties that you'll do as a library tech. So it's a good way to kind of get a feel of like what to put on your resume or on your cover letter, right? Work activities, detailed work activities, work context, right? Abilities, interests, work styles, and then the wage as well too, right? And guess what? Now I'm going to go to the next one. This is an actual job position. So you look at the job position and you look at what are they doing, right? Capture digital images, ensure items are properly captured and processed. Some of that is actually on here, right? So as you can see, you can build your resume to match the specific things and use tools like Own It Online on the chat box to guide you, right? And that's kind of where Gabby and I can walk you through this piece to match your resume and your cover letter to actually get screened, to make sure the computer sees it and then a human can see it, right? And then you get an interview and then you can kind of showcase that. But it's about navigating those things. And I like to use Own It in my appointments just to guide students through things, just because it helps you really look at, what exactly the training looks like, the education, the pay, the skills, the knowledge, explore. It's definitely a good resource and tool that I've used with students as well. Gabby, if you have anything to share about that too.
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, I worked at Starbucks for many years. I was there for like 6 or 7 years. It's nothing related to counseling, right? Nothing related to what I do right now. One of the transferable skills is communication, collaborating, being able to work in a team, being able to lead. I was a shift supervisor, so having that leadership role. All of those things, I was able to transfer them over to counseling, because in counseling, it's nothing but communicating. So being able to talk to students, being able to collaborate with other people, to, host events or doing things like that. So it's really important for you all to use all these resources, use Own It, like Jorge showed, so y'all can see like, okay, if I'm gonna apply to this job, this is what they're looking for. Now let me look at my resume and make sure that I'm hitting these points. One of the things that I also tell students, if you don't have a job at all related to library tech, so for example, let's say you work in like construction, and now you're trying to get a job as a librarian. If you have absolutely no transferable skills, then do a section with your education, so educational experience, and talk about the projects or the different things that you did in your schooling or in your courses. Because when you do that, then the employer will get to see like, okay, well, she or he doesn't have the work experience, but those keywords are still there. You know how to do the job, you know how to apply it. The only problem is, or the only thing is that you haven't actually done it out in the workforce. So knowing how to articulate that is very, very important.
Has anyone like interviewed recently or had to build their resume? Like anyone want to share their experience doing that?
Yeah, so it's Jean again. For the summer internship, I had to look over and redo my resume basically because I hadn't edited it in like a couple years or so. And yeah, I didn't know we had like what do you say, like a resume review kind of offering at LBCC, but I know definitely try and use it for I do any more interviews or whatever. But I just did some like practice interviews and stuff with my friends and like had them look over mine really quickly just to see if it's like up to par with what I think it should be. But I know it definitely needs some improvement.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we come into place, right? Like, you know, we can meet with you and look at it, review it. And honestly, that's all it takes, really. I'll be honest with you all. I've had many people review my resume and getting different perspectives because it's subjective, right? You know, like Colette mentioned, like there's definitely a, how do you say it? Like many people are looking at things and people are seeing for certain things, right? And a committee has different values or looking for something specifically. So you might bring something to the table that you want to highlight. So it's again about getting some feedback, seeing as many people as possible, and then also really walking yourself through it, right? Maybe recording yourself, interviewing, understand the market, right? Look at what the jobs are out there right now, right? Do a quick Google search, see what's available, and then see like, okay, what are some skills I need to develop that I haven't developed? Maybe there's an internship I need to take on. Maybe I need to volunteer, right? Or maybe I want to work at a specific location, right? And how do I get there, right? So that's kind of, you know, either meeting with us, but also thinking about internally, right? Writing a task of things that you could do that you can work on and create that support system and networks of support system to help you. So we kind of really want to just hit that home to connect. And I'll leave my email in the chat box as well too. So you can connect with me. Gabby will share hers as well. But I also included the link to our website to LBCC Career Center, where you can, you know, make an appointment and also look at career coach as well too, and kind of look at jobs that are out there and update your resume if needed.
So I think this is really cool. I wanted to touch base with and maybe spend a couple minutes before we end at 5 to unpack something that Francesca shared in the chat. And just this idea about being professional and how many different layers there are to that, right? Like we can see that you might not even get the chance to express your professionalism if you don't use the right keywords that you can find in your resume. But in your experience, and I'll just throw this out to anyone, what does it mean when we talk about being professional and coming across the potential employers? What if we try to unpack that for a minute? So maybe I think I gave Chessa some warning that I might call on her. So Chessa works in an academic library and she's a library assistant, right? So she's kind of in the setting where we're working with students. So Chessa, do you have any kind of insight on what like being professional in this area looks like and how it can help people find jobs and move up?
Yeah, that's a good question, Colin. For me in this, because for me, library, I see it as like a professional setting. So I'm always mindful and respectful to, especially to the higher, higher position above me. But I also make sure that they heard my opinion. And well, I'm always really, because I'm always careful whenever I talk to them, like, careful with my words. And well, I think respect to my supervisor, just saying, when you see them, like say hi, hello, good morning, how are you, like that. And also be respectful with your with the students, like with the patrons. Yeah, that's all I can say, really. Like, be respectful to whoever you encounter with. Yeah, because I think it's important, because like in our library we usually give like excellent customer service. So that's my that's all I can share.
So it's almost like it's that double-edged sword. There's that public-facing professionalism where you're the face of library. And then there's also that peer-to-peer and up to your supervisor professionalism where you're the colleague and not just someone who's serving the patrons. That's a good take. Sorry, Jorge, I think I cut you off.
Oh no, you're good. Like, I think that was something I had to do. I still deal with, to be honest with you, like I mentioned earlier, like that dissonance between like being my authentic self, but also carrying myself in a professional manner. And it all just comes back to like really practicing, being present, wearing multiple hats, right? I talk about students about wearing multiple hats. You're a parent today, the next day you are, a brother, right? The next day you are a student, right? Or you're brand new to school. So it's like, it's how you manage those hats, right? So when you put on the library tech hat, what is a library tech? You are a library technician. So when you communicate that, it's how you put yourself in the zone of what a library technician does. So you don't have to think too much when you're doing an interview. You're actually practicing the pedagogy, right? The practice of being a technician. So it's just really practicing, getting that interview practice, right? And also getting to know the role of that position. So doing those informational interviews, right? Connecting with your professors, connecting with classmates, right? Again, I want to stress this because it's so critical. It's just connecting, because it's not about, like, I know it's sometimes individual, but it's about the people, right? So you want to be able to connect with one another that support you, and like you all mentioned, right, like really prepare you to enter these professional fields, because you do belong in here. We do want you to work in these positions. So just feeling comfortable with it, and being able to put on those hats when needed.
Oh, can I say something?
Sure, go ahead.
So I just piggyback what Chelsea said, something about respect, and what Jorge was talking about, like just feeling free, contacting one another, being involved. And I know someone said something about customer service or customer role, or libraries of like a customer service. I feel like that this semester, actually this is my very first semester here at LBCC. I feel like that I didn't get the service and the help that I've been needing. I've been like bouncing back and forth, like going through emails, emailing staffs, everyone or whoever maybe that could help me out. And the results was like just negative. I ended up having to, just like what someone said, being out of your comfort zone. I literally had to like get out of my comfort zone and just to get everything out of my way just to get the answers I need. And I felt like that customer service or whatever it is, respect, or I didn't get any of that. And I feel like that it was just a waste of time. And I'm just literally like worn out. I know it's the end of the semester. I'm trying to push it through as much as I can. I gotta helping out my parents too at the same time. It's just like, it's just drainage me out, and then just chaos at the same time. I'm trying to stay strong, push it through, but I feel like that no one helped me, and then I had to do everything by myself. So just want to share that out.
So I think one thing I would say is when we're talking about like the library technician program, we're also talking about like the whole college experience. It's working with the counselors, it's working with admissions and records, it's working with individual instructors. And I mean, just even things coming down to like, you can't get your parking permit on time affects the experience. So something I would offer is like my contact to you and my support. It's literally my job to help students who are in this program navigate all of that stuff. And I'm really glad that like you spoke up, because a lot of times we might not feel brave enough to speak up and share something like that. But I think that that's kind of like really cool. Like what Chessa said, she mentioned like being respectful, but still being able to express your opinion. And I think that that's an amazing way to build networks, because like now I can connect with you and we can work together offline to help you figure out what's going on and then get through that kind of stuff.
And I remember I spoke to you before, Colin. I spoke to you about like the library program, like how I can like log in, how can I register, do all that stuff. You know, it was a heck of a ride for me to get to where I am right now. It's just like,
yeah,
if I'm not getting the help I need, if I'm not getting the support, then why even do it? I mean, like if I'm gonna do it by myself, might as well do something else by myself. Might as well find my own path. Might as well work my way up myself and figure out, being my own counselor, being my own professor, being my own businessman, whatever it may be, whatever my career field is. I could do all of this by myself, like literally. If a school is not going to help me, why do I even have to be a part of it? I mean, this has happened multiple times. The fact that I'm like, okay, you know what? This is it. That's it. Now I'm gonna to push it through myself. I'm gonna just figure my own way out of it. And it's just, I feel like that I'm being left out, and someone's just speaking up, being left out, and I don't know, maybe I heard it wrong, but being more like individually, being an individual student, do everything my own.
Yeah. Well, I do remember working with you, and I think that one thing about, life and our jobs and progressing is that we can always look back on an experience and figure out how to refine and get better. So maybe this is a really good opportunity for me to look at, the last time we spoke, I was just giving you boilerplate information, or the phone conversations weren't necessarily the method of connection. So I feel really humbled and excited that you're here speaking, because I think it's a great opportunity to reconnect and prove that, like, at least from my experience, I think what we're trying to do is give supports to students so that we don't feel like we have to do all of this alone. Because it can get lonely and really difficult. But I really do appreciate you being here and speaking up again, and your persistence, because I think that's one way that strong connections get forged, is when we advocate for ourselves and then people come in and help us out. I'm not sure if anyone else wants to speak to that, but I feel really proud of you, and I feel like this is a great opportunity for me, and then for all of our instructors here in the program, is to kind of take stock and then make sure our connections to students are stronger.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you so much for being authentic and real, right? We talk about this, or I was talking about this a little earlier. And
Yes.
your story is powerful. We appreciate you, being there and right, going through these things, right? Because they're hard, it's difficult. Life can be very hard, especially if we're going through things. And sometimes it feels like, we're alone, right? And I just want to echo, Professor Williams's words is, we're here for you, right? Let's reconnect, right? Connect with me and Gabby, right? We'd love to meet with you and hear you and provide you the support that you need to be successful. Because, the last thing we want is for you to feel like, you know, you're not getting the support you need to meet the needs of your goals, academically or personally. So let's connect. I dropped my email. It was really great seeing you all today. I actually have to run, have an appointment right after this, but it was really amazing. And I dropped my email and our information, and I'll pass it back to Gabby to kind of wrap it up. But thank you all again. I appreciate you.
All right, thank you, Gabby. I don't know if you have any last words.
Yeah, so just to echo basically what, you, Colin and Jorge mentioned, we're all here to help you all out and answer any questions and really just meet every single one of you where you're at. This is not a cookie cutter type of job that we do. So really just meeting everyone where they're at. I know different students might need different things. So, we'll be here to answer any questions. I also put my email in the chat. So feel free to, reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to help you all.
I did want to add, in response to Nan, to what Tessa said, in ALA, the American Library Association, we really promote the concept that libraries for all. And I take it as an instructor, that means that then the library people, the library workers and librarians, library staff, we're all different types of people too. So the motto of the library is we accept all, we serve all, just like we believe that our staff and librarians are all types of people too. So we've embraced diversity. We also, when we're serving our patrons or users and also working with our colleagues, we have to have that concept in mind too. Not only do we have to apply it to the people we serve, but also to the people that we work with to really, how Now was saying, our authentic self, so it can really resonate with what we really truly believe in. I don't know if that helps or.
Yes, it did. Thank you so much. Yeah, I kind of wrote down your guys' emails, so of course I'll reach out, and yeah, hopefully that. Yeah, it's one of those challenges, it's never easy, but I once heard a legend says if you put hard work into what you do, it your dreams your dreams will come true, but it won't be the dreams, it will be reality. So I'm like, yes, that's true. You gotta put our effort into it. So that's I will never forget those words. It's just really powerful. It's really good. I'll always remember that. It's just whenever I feel like I'm down, I always remember that phrase. Man, it's good.
Okay, man, I'm putting my number. I know you have my number, but I'm putting it back into the chat, and anyone else can grab that number and give me a call. And I just wanted to say thanks. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you, Jorge, so much for coming and presenting on the Career Coach. I'm going to put this recording up in our Canvas shell where all of the students in the program can have access to it. And I'll put all those other good resources like the ONET, the BLS, and Career Coach. I'll place those up there too. And so, yeah, hopefully you start seeing library technician students come and reach out for some of these services. And thank you guys very much for just speaking up. And yeah, like Jorge said, being your authentic self, because if we know what needs to happen, we can do it. And like you said, make those dreams a reality. All right, everyone, I'm going to end. But we gave you all of our contact information. Feel free to get in touch, okay? And keep up. And yeah, congrats on graduating and all of that, Jean. I'll see everyone later, okay?
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone. Have a good one.